Okay,
So for the bills to be paid, as I mentioned, we're splitting the road mower over 2 months, so tonight's bills to be paid includes half the cost of our road mower. So the total of bills to be paid are $160,541.92.
okay. All right, then. You have a chance to review that? Then I will make a motion to approve payment of the bills totaling $160,541.92 and to advance to the treasurer the funds to pay any needed bills or expenditures to save penalties or accrue interest and payroll prior to the Board of Supervisors regular meeting on April 13th, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Emergency services.
Matt, did you want to
Oh,
give the Plymouth ambulance?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Matt Wells, I'm battalion chief of Plymouth Ambulance. For the month of February, we did 15 calls in the township, bringing the yearly total to 48.
Okay, thank you.
And we need to take Harleysville off of here, I apologize that it's still on there. For the fire company, Pat here, any chance? Okay.
No.
Fire company activity, they had 8 events in February.
Okay. Okay. Water sewer plant report.
No violations to report. Plants are doing good. Yesterday we did a walkthrough to discuss immediate upgrades and future upgrades.
Okay.
Everything's doing good.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Public Works road report.
Nothing too pressing. The guys did go to an underground utility class to, because we have a new line locator, so we can go out to the water plant and check out all the water lines, make sure everything is not leaking out there. We did a portion of the park, Friendship Park here. We did another extension to the trail out through here, so everybody check that out. It's pretty all right. We did refacing all the construction and the road signs because we're going to be replacing some of them signs throughout the township with a little bit brighter, high intensity, so people can see it a little bit better now. And we're just waiting for the plant to open up so we can lay some blacktop down there. And that'll begin probably, I think, April 3rd is when they're saying that they're going to open that up. Instead of filling the potholes in here with cold patch, we'll just get it done the right way.
Okay.
That's it. Any questions?
I do not. You have any?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Steve. All right.
So there's no environmental engineers report tonight.
Okay. Civil engineers report.
Okay, I neglected to bring a copy with me, but I did update the engineer's report, sent it over to Kate, so hopefully you have a copy of that in your packet. Wasn't a whole lot of updating other than obviously the Faust and Sweisford Road paving project, swale project, so that's a separate line item. If you've got any questions, I can certainly try to answer them, but generally not a lot going on from a development standpoint.
Okay.
For the building inspector zoning report, 4 permits were issued in February, 6 inspections, and 1 zoning item continues with the Spillane property. And Ken, I don't know if you can provide any update on that.
They asked for and were granted a continuance, and the matter gets relisted end of April, early May.
Okay. All right, the planning commission met this past month. They looked at our water supply ordinance standards to see if maybe we could clean some things up, tighten those standards up. Norm had provided some comments, so there was some good discussion about that. So we're hoping to bring that to you guys next month for some updating of those standards. The planning commission also talked about possible historic resource uses. This is something that had been brought up a while back. Essentially, we have some historic buildings in the township that may not be totally appropriate as just a single-family dwelling that the zoning permits. And so there was discussion that maybe we could offer some flexibility for historic properties to allow additional uses with certain requirements. So they kind of started that conversation, but it'll continue.
Right.
Not much from the Regional Planning Commission at this time. I think they did meet. We've got Jared Landis, who is going to those meetings. I don't think he's here tonight. So,
Okay. Parks and Rec?
So my name is Ezra Keenan, I'm on the Parks and Rec Board. I do see on the announcements, we will not be having this stomp this year. We'll be looking forward to it next year, but could not do it this year. We are beginning to plan for Community Day. That will be held September 30th, between 10 and 3, Saturday. We have been working with the Boy Scouts on the various projects that they presented tonight. We have been discussing some dog park improvements, specifically like putting some shade structures in the park. And we are also talking about some improvements possibly to Friendship Park, maybe some additional playground equipment. We're looking into that and looking into grants to fund these various improvements.
Okay. Thank you. Manager's update.
So over the past couple months, a few key projects, we've been working with Norm and Steve to revise the Faust, these projects that went out to bid tonight. I've been working closely with Matt Landis who handles our water sewer plants. We've been updating the operation and maintenance plan for those plants. Steve and I, the Public Works Director, and I met with PennDOT recently regarding the use of our liquid fuels funds. And he reviewed the project that went out to bid and was comfortable that our liquid fuel funds can be used for that project. So that's good. The bids came in pretty good price. We were hoping that that this piece of the project wouldn't be more than $380,000, so I'm glad a couple of them came in under that. Mentioned the road mower. I did receive some preliminary plans from the architect for some, we're planning a meeting room expansion, which obviously we need. And the architect had given me some concepts, but they didn't seem consistent with kind of what we originally told him, so they're going back and they're reworking those, so we hope to have them back here before the board next month. We did receive a draft of the hydrant study for Perk Crossing, but we had some questions, so we're gonna get some clarifications from the consultant before it's finalized, and then it'll be presented here and can be made available. We have had to spend several hours in depositions regarding the Potosi lawsuit. We had an audit of the pension plan last week, and it looks like it's in good shape. The auditor will be back next week to finalize everything. Hopefully everyone noticed the new township sign is installed and operational. And as Matt had mentioned, we did do a site inspection of the Perk Crossing water sewer plants yesterday, really to kind of assess how everything's running, identify projects that need to be done this year, and kind of get those moving forward, make sure nothing new popped up. It did come up that the water pumps seem to not be having the power that they should, so we probably are gonna have to have those replaced this year, so we'll start looking into that. The only other thing I have is, the last couple meetings, we've been receiving several comments from the residents on ways to improve transparency. Some key items, in addition to what was mentioned here, include posting active developments on the website, providing more detailed information about the EMS taxes, consider the possibility of live streaming the meetings, developing maybe an overview of what has happened at the township since the ethics violation occurred, because that occurred in January of 2021. The report from the Ethics Commission came out in December of 2022, so almost 2 years later. During that time, the township essentially went through an entire new staff, and we had new supervisors. So there's been a lot of steps that have been taken to avoid future situations like that, and I'm not sure that that's really come out clearly, and I think we could do a better job putting that on the website maybe and making that clearer so people understand kind of some of the things that have been undertaken since then. Another possibility we could do is posting the monthly reports from our professionals on the website, if you're interested in that. And we could have the planning commission meet, even if they have no other agenda items than approving minutes. And then after that, if they don't have agenda items, they don't meet. But you still have to check the website. But we could do that, so that at least that way we get the minutes out in a more timely manner.
That'd be great.
I think just posting that recording would be perfect, until we can live stream, I think it would be great. And Sean, you can handle that tonight just by telling her that, that would be great. What do you think of that, Tom? That's a good idea, right?
I think there's some good ideas there.
You don't think making those recordings public would be good? You think that's a poor idea?
I don't know if practices in other townships.
I'm asking your opinion. Yeah, I don't care about anybody else, I care about us.
The live recordings?
Sure, what's the difference between a live recording or a video stream, right? Until we get the video up and running, that would substitute just fine, I would think. What do you think of that, Tom?
I know you're trying to put me on the spot here.
I'm trying to ask somebody who's gonna answer a damn question, because I asked John, and the last time I don't need to answer that, tonight I wanna move on.
How about this? How about we
How would we not
let
interrupt
them
the
give
meeting?
some feedback on the items that I put out to them
Tracy,
in my
I was
report?
talking to the supervisor.
I know, but it's not public comment time, Bill,
I'll wait for it.
you know?
So yeah, it's not public comment time. I think we'll think about it. We'll get back to you. Thank you.
That's a couple minutes, we have another phone.
Okay. I mean, we can talk about it, but I mean, we got somebody here who's essentially just trying to run for office, and that's why they're trying to make points, because they really don't have.
So I've
a
been
lot
saying
to
this since
run on.
2021, you can say whatever you want.
So I'm not trying to run for office or anything, but I don't see why if there's a YouTube stream that's run by somebody from the media, why the township has an issue with a recorded media that's done, video. I don't know what the pushback is, because, I mean, it says in the article, I think it's 67 or something, that I can sit here with a video recording and I can do it myself. I can have a recorder in my pocket, I can have one that she has on the table. So I don't know what the pushback is, regardless of.
Yeah, it's not military secrets, for
Right.
God's sake.
Right? So,
Yeah,
what-
really,
I have
it's
the right
not.
to
It's
know.
not, all you gotta do is just tell this guy to make them public.
I'll just address this, Bill, because I know you're putting me on the spot. What I would say is that some of the topics that we discussed here were brought up with Tracy. So if you give us a little bit of time to discuss it further, because we have to have this in a public forum.
I would think that's where it's supposed to happen. I've been asking since 2021, so I was just
So this
curious.
is my
We're all
first,
sitting here now, all you get is with a stroke of a pen, it's taken care of.
I understand the comment, but this is my first meeting. So what has happened prior to here as a supervisor?
Tom, are you gonna start this off with a lie? How many times
I
do you
guess-
sit here every single month and give your ambulance report? Do you not? Do you not? Answer the question, do you not?
What I would suggest is, it's not that the recordings are some top secret thing. The question would be, how do we go through the process of putting either the recordings or a live meeting stream on our website? And so, if you guys would like us to look into that, I'm happy to look into it, and we
I
can
have no
check with our
problem.
website, you know, but we gotta figure out how we're gonna do that, okay? 'Cause if we have every person that we have to give a recording to
Put it right on the website.
every time. But what I'm saying is, we need to look into how functionally we do that. I'm happy to look into it if you guys want me to. right? And
I have no
mentioned-
problem with you looking into all the 5 topics that you brought up that we had discussed.
I agree, why don't you look into it?
I'm a bit of a computer nerd, I can help you do
And not for
that.
nothing, there's pros and cons to all of it, because I came to the planning, I think it was the planning commission meeting that was last month, and the developers are also gonna have access to all the information that we're talking about updating these ordinances in order to try and stop some of that from coming in, making things tighter, stricter, so they're gonna know, hey, they're working off of a deadline to get these strict rules in place, we better put our request in beforehand so that we're grandfathered in.
Well,
So
and that's a good
there's
point,
pros and
Nicole.
cons for
Yeah.
everything.
This
So
could
just
really
keep
turn
it-
around and bite us. And, you know, I think part of our hesitancy is that at the planning commission meeting, you know, one of the members said, this needs to be off the record, but we didn't think to turn off the recording, right? So if we make this available, he may be uncomfortable with that, and then we may lose a volunteer there. So there could be unintended consequences, you know,
Not
and.
too embarrassing about it, you need a 20-second delay or something, you need.
But we can't go back and alter the recording, right, after the fact, because then we're gonna get accused of, you know, altering the recording. So sometimes we kinda have to think it all through. Are we gonna post it on the website? How do we do that? Does our website have the capability of doing that? So it's not that we're saying no, we're saying, give us a chance to look at what needs to happen if that's what the board wants us to do. So over the next month, I'll look into these things that we discussed, and I'll provide it to the board, and it can be a discussion item next month, okay? I mean, not sure what else we can offer at this point.
That's fine,
Okay.
like I'm saying, we've been asking for this for, what, 2-3 years now? And here we are, finally starting to get a little bit of headway.
Tom just said, look into it.
It's interesting, you know, Bill, you say that comment, there's no lies. I sat here previously,
And you listen to all the meetings, Tom.
and I
You
listened to the
sit here.
meetings, and I heard you especially,
Absolutely.
and a few other people in the audience, when I was here running, asked for this stuff. And it's pretty interesting, my first meeting, this is on the township manager's agenda.
It's not pretty interesting, it's been on this agenda since 2021, Tom.
I'm
and you
sitting
used to
here
sit
making a
back there.
decision, that's all. So now I'm here, so I can show you what I can potentially prove to you and bring out to you what you're asking for. Okay?
Listen,
You can give me that game.
I can give you next couple of months, sure.
I don't know if it needs a
I don't
couple
mind.
months, but there you go. I listen to people and I'm trying to help.
I know.
This bantering is not helping.
I agree.
We're all adults, let's act it, please.
All right, new business, paving project 2023, Faust to Sweisford Road.
Okay, had a chance to look through the bid documents that were submitted. The solicitor was nice enough to look through them as well from a notarization standpoint, the bonds and things like that. And I actually discussed with him a little bit ago, but he found no issues. Our low bid is in the amount of $302,512.57 by Saxon Sons. We've certainly, Saxon Sons has worked many times in the township. We're very happy with what they've done. We have found them to be very competitive before. To be honest, normally I prepare an engineer's estimate, but with the way things have been going for the past couple of years, it's kind of useless because it's like hitting a dartboard. I mean, numbers are going up and down. I can say from this time last year, my estimate last year, based on real numbers, was for Faust Road about 200,000. But we've added Sweisford to this. And so I could say without actually putting pen to paper that I'm pretty comfortable with that number of 302,000.
Okay.
So now, keep in mind, we're buying the asphalt directly. That number doesn't include the asphalt. And the township is buying the pipe. That was one of the things that we tried to do, to try to tee it up for a contractor as much as possible by buying the pipe, because they're concerned about lead times. How do they work that into their schedule? Can they get it? So Roadmaster was nice enough to do that legwork. And then the asphalt, we've actually been purchasing the asphalt directly, so when you get big contractors don't like to be holding that much pass-through costs, as opposed to something that is more direct profit for them. So, from that standpoint, it makes it more attractive to a contractor, hopefully to get not only good numbers, but good contractors. So that being said, if the board is comfortable, I would ask for a motion to issue the apparent low bidder notification letter to the contractor. With that, he'll provide performance bond, payment bond, workman's comp affidavit, certificate of insurance, things like that. Once we get that back, and because of the timing, because we meet once a month, I would ask for another motion that I issue the notice to proceed letter, provided that the information that is submitted back from the contractor is what's called responsible and responsive, meaning timely and done correctly. Because usually that takes about 10 to 14 days, then we don't have to wait another 2 weeks to ask for that second motion, and we've been doing it that way since I've been here.
So you're looking for a motion to award the contract, a motion to proceed letter. Is that correct?
To issue the apparent low bidder notification letter, and then provided that information is acceptable from the contractor, to issue the notice to proceed letter.
Which you'll bring back.
Yeah, yeah, Tracy will get copies of all of that. I always get it in duplicate, and the originals always go to the township.
Okay, then I will make that motion. I'll make a motion to send the apparent low bidder letter. Do I have a second?
Second.
In favor, aye. And I make a motion to, the motion to the proceed letter.
Correct. Notice to proceed.
Notice to proceed
Yep.
letter. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy, did this fall within our budget? Because I know these projects were combined.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Okay.
So I was, our budget, I was estimating hopefully no more than 380,000 for this piece, and at 302, we're very happy.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, resolution 2023-02, Berks County Tax Collection Committee.
All right, so the Berks County Tax Collection Executive Committee is the governing body that oversees Berks Earned Income Tax Bureau as the collector for earned income taxes and other 501 taxes for Berks County school districts and the municipalities. According to the bylaws of this organization, the municipalities located within the boundaries of the school district have to collectively vote and appoint one primary delegate and one alternate delegate to represent those municipalities on this committee. I think they meet quarterly by Zoom. They do a remote meeting. So at this time, it was necessary to find a primary and alternate. New Hanover recommended their assistant manager as the primary, and I think somebody from Washington Township as the alternate. And if you guys are okay with that, then you can pass this resolution, and then we will let them know that we find those representatives acceptable.
And once again, Tracy, who's the representative?
So from, let's see.
Dustin
Where's
If there's
What's the
a-
name?
do-
Dustin Schreiber.
Dustin Schreiber from New Hampshire.